Hi everybody, Sable, host of Full Out Healing here, and today is 100 Days of Truth, day 32, maybe 31, I think day 32. But I'm just gonna do sort of like a vlog episode instead of like a regular episode because I just noticed this, I noticed something about myself and how I've been feeling and how I've been showing up for this week, and I kind of wanted to talk about it in this space because, of course, it's related to my healing journey. So, for whatever reason, this week, and it's not the whole week, maybe just the past few days, I've just noticed that, I have been feeling a little, I guess, paralyzed. I haven't been doing the things I've been wanting to do for myself. And it's weird to notice because I feel good about myself. I feel with each passing moment in the present. I feel good with what I choose to do in each present moment. And I've sort of noticed this sort of growing feeling of I felt it right here in my body. And as I was walking today, I realized, I think I'm feeling scared. And it's weird to feel scared when you feel safe, or I'll speak for myself. It felt odd to notice that feeling because I do feel safe in my life today. And I realized that I have all these plans for myself. I'm trying to put all these things in motion, and I'm in sort of that nebulous in between effort and manifestation. And I am in a place where all I can do is surrender to the present and accept it and let things go as they may, because I believe that I'm taking action to honor and support myself every single day, even if that action is outside of my to-do list. And even if that action isn't aligned to the timeline I had in mind for myself. So it's weird to kind of notice this feeling. And I realized, I think this has kind of been an ongoing battle for me for the past few months of surrender and acceptance, and surrendering to the timeline of my life. And it kind of brought up this fear of the unknown. And I realize I'm scared because I have a very clear idea of what my vision is, what I want for myself, and I am doing things to bring that vision to fruition, and I still don't know how it's all going to end up there. And that scares me. And not knowing the how makes me scared. It's like an unknown, and it's weird because I believe on such a deep level. I know that what is meant for me, I cannot miss. And I deeply know that, and yet there's this kind of fear here about, well, how is it all gonna shake out? And different day-to-day pressures. There are different day-to-day pressures that kind of add to that. And so I realized I have this fear of the unknown. And I was listening to this money mindset podcast, and someone was, towards the end of the interview, the coach asked the interviewee, what would you excitedly say to yourself 2 years for the version of you that existed 2 years ago? And that really took me a step back because 2 years ago, I was in that abusive relationship, and it was nearing towards the end, but it still kind of wasn't. And it kind of felt tough to think about myself like in this exact moment 2 years ago, because I felt increasing despair and increasingly, I felt like I was running away from the desperation of my situation and how things were only getting worse, even though there were all the promises that it would get better. And, you know, running away from the judgment and the shame I felt towards myself for believing those things, and judging myself and having shame for still like having a little bit of hope that it possibly could ever get better. And, you know, I don't know. I've just been thinking about this, about the whole fear of the unknown and how scary it is. And then I thought about myself 2 years ago, and I realized, yeah, the fear of unknown, even though I am struggling to accept and surrender to what this moment in life is bringing me, is way better than what I know. Like, I am happily walking towards the unknown, because what I am meant for, what I deserve, what I am worthy of is so much more than anything I've ever known. And I think I just needed to remind myself of that. And I appreciate you being here with me, because I kind of got to talk through and get to that place. I feel very somewhat uneasy about not knowing the how of what's to come. And in that space, I'm very much anxious and preoccupied with the future. I'm definitely not settled into my present, which is where my peace is. And even with all of that being said, I'm just like, yeah, Sable, the fear, I welcome my unknowns now, because what I know is shit compared to what I deserve and what I desire and what I need. And sometimes I think it is okay to compare yourself, but to your other selves, not to other people. That's the trap, you know? Don't be all like comparing yourself to kids in a faraway place, people that are hungry, someone somewhere else experiencing other shit, because I don't think that serves you or the imagined people that are suffering elsewhere, right? It doesn't honor either of your humanities. I think instead honor your own, and I'm saying you, I'm talking to you, but I'm talking to me. So the person might change a little bit. But yeah, I'm gonna honor my own humanity by comparing myself only to a former self, and doing so with love, care, respect, and compassion. And I feel like it's literally working in real time, because when I started this video, I was just kind of like, the energy of that fear, it kind of felt like it was here, and it was like hard. It was literally weighing on my eyelids. And now it feels lighter, and it feels easier for my eyes to be more wide open. Literally, like, actually, I physically feel the difference. But yeah, I have big dreams, I have big desires, and they seem far away. And I also know I'm closer than I've ever been. And sometimes because I don't know the how, I get a little bit scared. And, you know, I think sometimes I just need to remember that it's actually kind of a relief that I don't know the how, because I think about all the things that have worked out for me in my life, all the blessings, all of the love, all of the just like the people and experiences that have shown up for me when I needed it the most. They were oftentimes in ways I never could have imagined. Like, they showed up for me quite literally and we're always like preparing to, and that was totally outside of my perception. And I think that's kind of like the discomfort and the struggle of this moment is that trusting and believing that things are working in my favor, and accepting that things are happening well outside of my perception. And thank God, because there's just more. You know, I did a video about a healing tool called Perception is Not Reality. And I, more and more with each day, I'm coming to terms with the fact that my perception is not reality. And reality is so much bigger than what I perceive. And it's not like a disrespect to myself. It's not like my judgment is bad or anything. It's actually like a relief of like, there's so much more than what you see, especially since what you see is colored by those shady ass belief gremlins that have no business being up in here. So yeah, this is it. I know this wasn't like a totally cohesive video or thread, but it's where I am. And I guess that's also survivorship too. You know, sometimes you just are where you are and it's not cohesive and it's not definable, and somehow things coexist, like believing in divine timing and knowing you're protected, and also still being scared, yet somehow having peace in the moment. This is the journey. Yeah. And I guess I'll end here because it feels unfinished. And I guess that's okay. And maybe that's the point. And I guess I'll like end with an invitation to you, or maybe a question of how have you, like in your own journey as a survivor or someone who relates to anything I've shared, have you had moments like this of where, you know, you feel aware of the good and you believe in it, and yet you have like this fear creeping up? And it's weird that it's there because it seems incompatible with what you know on a deep level. And I'm curious, what helps bring you back to your present, back to your grounded peace? I'm curious about that too. And I'm curious because, like, if you have tips and tricks, let your girl know. Yeah. So thank you for joining me. 100 Days of Truth, day 31 or 32. It'll be in the show notes. Much love, and I hope that you have a wonderful day. Bye, y'all.